Level up with the new AAA Commanders MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA plus exclusive experiences, discounts, and tickets. Already a AAA member, upgrade for free at AAA.com/commanders. Hey, babies, hey, babies, hey, babies. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy almost Thanksgiving. Happy early Thanksgiving to everybody. We will not be doing a show for the next few days, really before we get to the Commanders-Broncos game. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you guys have a great holiday.
Hey, remember that phrase used to mean something different like 2 years ago. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, wow. We are out of the vortex. I didn't even know. Oh, man. Did anyone really ever get the joke? Did anyone ever clarify what the joke was on that?
I mean, it had to be explained, but it was explained like a year later. Like, Dan said that introducing Ron, but he introduced Ron when? January or something?
Right, but that was like, there was some inside joke about that. I don't think anyone ever found out what the inside joke was.
No, because Ron got fired the week of Thanksgiving, I think, is what it was. Like, the Panthers fired him. I don't know. It was a dumb joke, period. Like, that's really what it all boils down to. I shouldn't even have to talk about it that much.
Speaking of Ron, did you see he fired the coach at Cal over the weekend?
No, I didn't see that. No, sorry, I'm not plugged in with Cal football or what Ron's doing these days. No, I did not see that. I don't know if
Ron's installing himself or not. I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
I don't think that guy's going to like recruiting. I'm just going to say that. And that means a lot of things, actually. I don't think he knows how to pick talent. I don't think he likes paying players. I don't think he likes looking for a new roster. That's all I'm going to say I think
he'd get a taste of his own medicine on that one when he's like, we have no money to give you. And the player goes, guys.
What am I here for? What's the point?
Yeah. I thought you were going to show me a lot of money before I actually signed on with you, but apparently you're not.
That's right.
Yeah. I wish Ron a lot of luck with all that. All right. As for us, Jayden Daniels was at a Thanksgiving food donation event yesterday and was cornered by all the reporters and gladly said, I want to play when I'm ready to go. Dan Quinn's already set the table this week and his arm was still in a sling, that he can come back to practice, but there's no contact yet. And he hasn't been cleared for that. So they've called him at this point unlikely. And considering we're not doing a show again, I'm just going to have to stick with that. And I'm going to go with that likely means that he is not going to play this weekend, but he will play sooner rather than later. And I guess there's a slight opening for this weekend. But I was glad to hear him say it. And I think it's the right thing to do. And I am still kind of shocked by the larger than average segment of people that I keep seeing saying don't play him anymore this year with 6 games left and they're not mathematically eliminated yet. I don't understand that. When did we become soft like this? I've never seen, like, it wasn't even an idea to me to not play him if he's going to be healthy, but there is a segment of people that are scared to death we're going to kill him. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I heard you yesterday talking about Matthew Berry weighing in on this and him saying to shut him down, and it's a ridiculous.
About like,
one, it's just a ridiculous statement to make, like just to generically be like, don't play him anymore. 6 out of 10 games is a lot of games, guys. Like, just to say, yeah, no, we're not going to play you anymore. Like, that's ridiculous. I've said this to you too. He's a year 2 player. The offense hasn't looked correct all year long, and that's for a multitude of factors, but one of them is health, so he's contributing to that. And you can't tell me that if Terry McLaurin comes back, Noah Brown comes back, Traylon Burks comes back, that all of a sudden, you know, those 3, along with Deebo Samuel and Jayden coming back, that the offense has some semblance of what it's supposed to look like going into next year. Like, I want to see that and see how it operates. And to just pull the plug on that because you're scared a football player is going to get hurt is flat out ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, if he had a collapsed lung, or he had like what Robert had when Robert came back too soon from an injury that could be made a lot worse, I would hear out the record is what it is. Why would we take an unnecessary risk? That's not what this is. That was a fluky injury. He got very lucky, actually, that it wasn't worse than it was. It's probably very painful. It's probably very swollen. And I'm sure like getting hit on it right now is going to be extremely uncomfortable. So they're going to wait until he's ready to be able to go. It wasn't his passing arm. It was his other arm. Like, I don't even know what the argument is here. And there's part of me that sits there and goes, y'all need to shut up because that's not what we're about. Like, we're here to win. We're not here to tank. We're not here to go, oh, well, it's Thanksgiving and we're not going to make the playoffs. So put everybody who matters on the shelf. Like, where does that end, by the way? Is it just him? Or is it who else do you not want to see play anymore? Do you not want Terry to play again this year? Do you not want Tunsil to play again this year? Like, who else do you not want to play again this year if that's how you're feeling about this?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other side of this, too. This is not what this locker room is about. Like,
No.
I know that Jayden, if he's healthy, would want to play. And then he said it out loud yesterday, just kind of confirming that. But if you were to put him on the shelf, that sends a terrible message to everyone else on the team that your most important player, your leader, we're just going to shut him down to shut him down. It sends a terrible message, and it sets a really bad precedent moving forward with that group too. So I'm not saying they're going to play them to appease the locker room. They're playing them because I think it's the right thing to do, or they're going to play them because it's the right thing to do, because it keeps them competitive. I've said this too. Your last 4 games are against the NFC East. I want to beat those teams. I want those teams to see this is what you're dealing with when you're healthy. And that's where it also lands for me is you want to just lay down for the Giants, Eagles twice, and the Cowboys. I have no business doing that to just bench somebody to bench somebody. I want him to play.
Nobody thought this would happen. Nobody in the building for sure thought this would happen. Maybe Adam Rank thought this would happen, but nobody else on earth thought it would be like this. And therefore, there's a big part of me that goes, I want to get a glimpse of the team I thought we were going to have in the summer. There's a bazillion reasons why this team did not end up having that season and ends up having a record that looks like this. But like, we're on the other side of the bye. I think we're through the worst of most of it. And if we get our star players back, I want to see what that looks like as we head into 2026. Like, I have no illusions that they're going to go 6-0 and somehow make and that probably wouldn't even be enough anyway. Because if you just do the math, like, you need the Eagles to lose out basically to actually get into the playoffs. There's too many teams ahead of them and too many of them that they lost to. So like they're not going to make the playoffs this year short of some kind of miracle. And it starts with them going 6-0, which I have a hard time buying them doing. But I want to see, what does this offense specifically look like? I think it's good for their morale. I think it's good to be reassured that, like, hey, we had one of those years where everything went sideways, but we stuck together. This is actually what it looks like when we put everybody out on the field together. Oh, by the way, we have an offensive line that's kind of gelling now, finally, through the course of the year. Cosby's gotten his sea legs back. Connerly doesn't feel as much like a rookie anymore. Tunsil's entrenched. Chris Paul's turned into a very good left guard for them. Like, let's see what that looks like for the rest of the year. I see no argument to do what these people are doing. They're just playing scared. And where does that end? Like, who else are you not going to play anymore? And what if they start 1-2 next year? Like, are you scared to play guys after that? Look, people can get hurt. It can happen at any point in time. Lamar's been hurt this year. Burrow's been hurt this year. Burrow might be playing tomorrow night. We're not even sure. He might be playing tomorrow night. They're 3-8. Is everyone in Cincinnati going, don't play Burrow? No, of course not. Like, of course not. So grow up, people. Put on your big boy pants. Welcome to the NFL. Season didn't go very well. I know he's special too. We got 6 games left. He wants to play. He should play. He's healthy enough to play. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, as I like to call it, post-traumatic Snyder disorder. This fan base has PTSD in a different sense, and they just think that, you know, that sector of the fan base that just thinks, well, he's gotten hurt, 3 times, and he's gonna get hurt again, and that's just who we are. And he's RG4 or he's RG3 Part 2 or whatever you want to call him. It's just a ridiculous, just mindset that people have of just shut him down. Guys, at the end of the day, he gets paid to play football. Like, that's really what this boils down to. Like, he has a contract to play games. There's 6 more left. Is he going to play in the next one? Probably not, as we've just discussed here. But after this, I assume he's going to get some playing time at some point. He should play. He's a year 2 player. This is what they get paid to do. And by the way, like, what are you protecting him for? Like, protecting him going into next year. He's going to have months and months and months, after this. It's just so ridiculous. how everyone just wants to shut him down.
No, it's frankly, it's like, do you want to root for the team? Like, I don't like.
Right.
That's
right. Yeah.
What do you like? You want to root for the team that doesn't play their star players? Like, I don't even. It makes no sense to me at all.
Right.
If this were week 18 and he's trying to come back from this and they're whatever and they're out of everything, I'd be like, you know what? Why don't we not do that? You know, you've already missed what you've missed, but that's not the case here. And it doesn't look like he's going to play this weekend anyway. So We'll have to see how practice plays out. So we'll see. All right. As for the game this weekend, because it's the last time we'll talk before this, it's a massive challenge for the Commanders offense this weekend. Denver's defense is great at every level, like really, really great. I think Surtain's going to play, but I'm not totally sure yet. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, from them. But he's missed the last few games with a pec injury, but it looks like he's kind of on his way back. Their secondary is absurd, and it's the sack numbers that will really get you. Not only do they lead the league in sacks, they come from literally everywhere. Like Benito's got almost double digits already. Cooper's got 7.5. There's 2 defensive linemen with 6. There's a nickel corner with 4. There's a outside defensive lineman that's got 5. Like, it's not just like they have like one guy. It's everywhere. So this is going to be a really, really, really massive challenge, no matter who the quarterback is for this team. And I'm excited to see what it looks like. We also catch no break. They also had a bye, so we're catching them on that too. But this will be a hell of a test for the Washington offense. And not just Jayden, but like, we kind of really need Terry or Noah or some of these others to come back, because the marginalized offense against this defense is a death sentence this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that was what we haven't talked about yet, but it sounded like from Quinn that he was optimistic about Terry. Like I said, we don't have a confirmation on it yet, but it was about as optimistic as I had heard him with any injury this season, the way he was talking. But yeah, that Broncos defense, I look at them and just think that's a team that got studs at every level, essentially. It's what this team actually really needs, is like getting a player that can really go at each level at D-line, linebacker, and safety and corner. Like, they're really good. I watch them and they just like swarm to you. So I'm with you. It's going to be tough for the offense. The offense had a tough go of it, last game with the Dolphins. But we have seen, Mariota is able to run an offense. I'm cautiously optimistic that, they can at least put some points on the board. I just don't know how many.
This is the Dan Quinn must level set the defense to the point where Denver doesn't score more than 20 points.
Yeah.
That's the path to winning here, that they end up in some muddy, very low scoring, close game that just ends up in the fourth quarter, and you just need to catch a break, and then they might get it. Denver is a lot like Washington from a year ago with a top 5 defense, let alone a pretty good one, but they keep winning every close game. Like, one of the big differences from last year to this year for Washington, they played 12 one-score games and went 8-4 in them. They're 0-3 in the one-score games this year. Denver has won 3 straight games by a field goal, all 3 of them. There's some, I got to look up the number, but there's some, like, no one's ever done that 4 games in a row, like won 4 games in a row by that amount of points. The last team, I think I read this the other day, the last team to win 3 in a row by a field goal or less was the 86 Giants, who ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. They have a Super Bowl defense. I don't think they have a Super Bowl offense, but they have a Super Bowl defense. So this one, again, is going to lean on, not unlike the way the season started with the offense might start slow. We're going to need the defense to really step up here. We're going to need the defense to really step up here and just keep them in this, because that's not a world-beating offense that's running around out there. They don't have a ton of stud players that you're overly concerned about. They don't have an all-world skill position player. They're good, not great. I buy Sean Payton. But the reason why their record is what it is because their defense can take over games at times. They have a Super Bowl defense on that team. So let's see what the defense can do this week after level setting in Miami, getting an extra week off. Quinn settles the whole thing down. I don't expect them to be world beaters or top 10 or anything like that. They just got to be not bad the way that they were for that month. And then I think they may find themselves in a low-scoring, close game Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, that's easily the pathway, towards winning there too. What I'll say too about their offense, though, that worries me, and I know Dan Quinn settled the defense down last game against the Dolphins, is you and I, for basically a month straight, we're talking about teams that don't have players that kill you, and then all of them would kill you. Or
That's
the
right.
players that normally do, like JSN, went off for career days against them. So, yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about the defense, but it's also not lost on me that every offense that has needed a jump start gets it against this defense. So
That's
I think there's a part of me that still thinks like if it doesn't settle down, that offense could make things out of hand fast.
In this case, though, they don't have an Achane, Gibbs, Bijan. They don't have that. They don't have a crazy great receiver. They have good ones, but they don't have a crazy one. The tight end doesn't kill you on this team. And Knicks has gone through stretches where they don't score a ton of points. And I think that part of that is probably because they don't have the type of players that win consistently. So I'm hoping that we just I'm just hoping we find a close game. Where does the pass rush come from? I don't know. They did get a few sacks the last game. One of them was a coverage sack for Von Miller, but at least, remember, they went 2 weeks without getting a single sack, like with Seattle and Detroit. I mean, they were just destroyed. So let's see what they can dial up here. Knicks will hold on to the ball a little bit. They don't play in a complete rhythm offense constantly. So it'll be interesting to see if they can find the pass rush. Jacob Martin, maybe they could dial something up for him. I'd love to see Luvu make a big play. Like, we have not seen a lot of that from him. I'm not down on him or anything like that, but like they haven't been able to get him in a position to be profiled correctly. I think that was an early season underrated story that maybe their best playmaker on defense wasn't making the plays. And then they kept saying things like, well, he's being blocked differently now. He's a linebacker. You could move him around. He's not stuck playing one position. He's not like typecast that way. Let's see if we can find some ways to have him make some hay a little bit, because I haven't called his name enough this year.
Yeah, I mean, and all the great ones figure it out, right? I mean, everybody that's good gets, profiled on a defense. So I'm with you on that. I'm ready for him to kind of take another step here. You got to figure out how to use him, how to utilize him a little bit to make a play here. There's not a lot of playmakers on here. He's one of them. He's got to figure it out. And as I said, the great ones figure out how to make an impact even when they're starting to get paid attention to a little bit more.
I'm watching Mikey on the outside here too, down the stretch, because Trey Amos isn't coming back with the injury he had. Marshawn Lattimore's not coming back. So by virtue of no choice, they're going to have to play him much more on the outside than I think they ever intended. They thought during the offseason that when they drafted Amos, they're like, well, we're going to put Mikey in the spot where we think he's going to shine. And frankly, he had a very up and down year at that role. He was very good when forced to play on the outside a year ago. I don't know. We may learn that this is the better position for him. And I think these next 6 games will be something of an evaluation of, okay, moving forward, where is he best suited to go? So I'm watching him, how he performs over the next 6 weeks. If he plays the way he did on the outside a year ago, I think the argument is going to be to keep him there with Amos and deal with the nickel in a different way, whether that's bringing back Igbenogany or getting somebody else. But that's my gut right now of how this is going to play out. But I want to see how he does out there, because it was up and down in the middle of the field, and he just might end up being, as a pro, better suited to be outside.
This is one of those storylines that I'm really paying attention to for these last 6 games, mainly because they need to figure out where he fits best. And if it is the outside, then it means that your move, in the offseason is finding a slot corner, essentially, right? So I'm with you here. He's had an up and down season. And in fact, one of the kind of things that I think why this season has gone sideways is some of these pieces that we thought were going to be really solid this year have not been. And he, falls into that category. I'm with you. He needs to just settle in and find his spot. And once he does, you can at least say, okay, we're going to go in this direction in the offseason. And especially when, you've just said this too, where the Broncos don't have this amazing number 1 wide receiver that's going to kill you. Let's see what he does, because they're going to rely on him pretty well.
Yes. Will Harris, I think, is coming back. Of all the people that are coming back, Dan Quinn was bullish about him coming back. Who does he play instead of? Is it Quan or Reeves? That's going to be interesting to watch. Quan benched the wrong word, but they did pull him out, not for an injury in Madrid. And again, because of the way the record is and the way things are going, a lot of this stuff is being kind of shuffled under while they're just losing a lot. Quan's got a big 6 weeks ahead of him. I think he's got a big 6 weeks ahead of him. Harris is going to come back. He's under contract. They love him. The defense, really, he's an underrated him, him and the Wise injuries, I think, are underrated for what happened on the collapse of the defense. That was a big, big part of what happened to them. Let's see what happens there with Quan the last 6 games. The other one that I really want to get a really good look at is Bill. So Chris Rodriguez has been running really hard. He reshaped his body. It's been paying off. He was a stud in Madrid. He had 75 yards rushing. He's running hard. He's hard to tackle. Bill has the it factor, though. We've seen it in flashes. He's got the instincts, the speed, a little bit of power, too. I love him. Like, as a long-term prospect, I really, really, really love him. He has not rushed for over 30 yards in a game in 5 weeks. When Cliff said something a couple of weeks ago about how, like, sometimes you just need to follow where it's supposed to go and not try to basically bust every big run. I think he was kind of messaging that to Bill, that, like, he feels like someone to me at this point that needs to wait for his pitch, that he's going to learn that, because not every play can be a big play, but his instincts keep taking over and telling him to pop this here and do that there. And I think that that's reps and experience. I really like him as a prospect, a long-term prospect, to be a really, really good player when he gets used to the NFL game and gets used to his role in this offense. And I'm hoping Cliff obviously is going to come back so that, that he can have another year in it. But I want to watch him the last 6 games, because I want to see that promise come a little more back to the forefront like it did early. So he's someone I'm very bullish about him moving forward. I think he's going to be a very, very, very good player for them, but he needs to learn how to play in the NFL game. And I want to see if there is some improvement there over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think with Bill, what I've seen is he is like even more hesitant when he gets, up to the offensive line essentially on these runs, and it's killing him. He's getting tackled right away. I also said this about him as well, and you know how this works too in football, where this is a young guy. He's never played this many football games in his life in one season. We're getting late here in the season as well. And guess what? He didn't play in actual games last year either, right? Like, he was on a practice squad all of last year in college. I think it's a mix between getting used to the game, and also I think there's some fatigue setting in here as well of a long season. We see this all the time with younger players where they don't, have a long season in college. They get into the doldrums of the NFL season, and all of a sudden they just kind of fade a little bit because they don't really, they've never really had this schedule before. I feel like there's a little bit of that with
Lane too. He played a lot more than they ever intended him to play. He was going to be their punt returner, and they might dial up a few plays here and there for them. They never intended him to be a full-time receiver.
So I think that's a factor there as well. I'm with you too, though, but I also think it's been a way how the offense has been run, just because their wide receivers have been hurt. They have been crowding the line. I think it's just been a lot for a rookie to intake, and it's not like he was a top 10 overall pick running back, right? So you have to be realistic with what he's got. I'm with you. I still really like him, but I think it is a big factor, down the stretch here. Can he get it going?
He's got the it skill set. Like, if they can harness it and he can harness it, I think he can be a very, very good, effective running back. But he just needs reps and time. And, he doesn't quite have the burst of Gibbs, and he doesn't quite have the power of some of the other players, but he's got great instincts. He's got all of the attributes that I really like in a player that can be a difference-making player. So I want to see what he looks like down the stretch here. I think it's very important to watch him and see if you start seeing him kind of get it a few times, because early in the season, his instincts took over, and those touchdowns he scored, that's not where the play was supposed to go. And I think teams, listen, they're smart. They get film on guys. The second this guy's in the backfield, they start to know tendencies. Things change. He's got to learn to play within the context of the system. And I think that's what Cliff was saying a few weeks ago, was directed at him. Like, we know you can be really great. Sometimes you got to take the layups and not try to fire up a 3. And so let's see how that goes. All right, let me take a quick break. We'll go through the rest of the slate next. Brave What's the Show, ESPN 630, the Sports Capital. Commanders fans, your fandom just got an upgrade. Introducing the AAA Commanders MVP membership, where real fans get real perks and the same trusted AAA membership benefits. The new AAA Commanders membership provides the chance to win game tickets, access to VIP events and experiences, 15% off at the Commanders Online Pro Shop, while providing peace of mind for Commanders fans on the road. Already a AAA member? Don't sit on the sideline. Upgrade your membership or join today at AAA.com/Commanders. All right, welcome back. Let's see. Turkey Day starts with a really good one. Feels like a playoff game. They got a couple of them that feel like playoff games tomorrow. You know, years ago, it used to be Detroit was like the appetizer for whatever the Dallas game was. Now, they're the main show. Green Bay at Detroit feels like one of these two isn't going to win the division. Whoever loses here, especially if Green Bay wins, because that means they will have swept them. This is a huge, huge game for Detroit. And I feel like they're at the point in the season. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. They're ebbing a little bit here. They needed a major comeback just to beat the Giants at home. They lost to the Vikings at home a couple weeks ago. Their defense is a little wonkier than I thought it would be. Give me Green Bay here to knock them off. Like I think Detroit's very capable. I just don't like the way they're playing on both sides of the ball. They're inconsistent. I like Green Bay here.
I'll counterpoint you, though. Green Bay has been really inconsistent all year long. Lost at home to the Panthers. That offense can't put up points at the moment. The defense shows up at times. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think this is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a low-scoring-ish game, something in the 17 to 20 point range. Hey, if you're going to, get a team to fight in the dumpster, I know what team I'm going to pick, and that's Dan Campbell and the Lions. So give me the Lions here. They're at home. Neither team I love here. I'm just going to say that. Like, both of these teams I think should be better than they are, and they both have, 7-8 wins at this point. Give me the Lions barely here, but I don't really like how either team is playing. And you got to remember, it's a short week. So, I don't know how either of these teams are going to look. They're usually low scoring. Give me the Lions in a dogfight here, but it's only because they're at home, and I'll take Dan Campbell for that.
Because of the depth of the NFC, the loser here is going to be in trouble. Not in trouble, but in trouble. Because of the depth of the NFC, that's why we have no real mathematical hope of digging out of this hole, even if we got hot. 9-8 probably doesn't do it. The only way that does it is the Eagles fall off the cliff. It's the only way that does it. So this game feels like a really big deal because of what the Bears' record is, which I'll get to them in a minute. The Bears didn't have the record that they had. I would look at this game as, well, one of them's going to win the division and the other's going to be the wild card. I don't know. Because of the Bears' record, you can't be assured of anything like that right now. This is a big, big, big game for them. The afternoon game has Dallas taking on Kansas City. You want to talk about inconsistent, it's the Chiefs, and it's very rare that you say that about them. I look at that and just go, on its face, you go, well, Kansas City with Mahomes against the worst defense in the league, oh, they're going to do this. I don't know if this is a turning point game for Dallas last week. The comeback that they've had a couple of other close calls this year. They've gotten defensive players back. They added Quinnen Williams. They got Overshown back. Overshown might be their best player on defense. I don't know so much that I actually feel like Dallas is going to win. I think if you told me this a few weeks ago, but it's on their home field. It is a short week. Kansas City, when they win, they're just getting by people, barely getting by people. So they have trouble scoring at a clip that you would expect from them. Their defense is very good, but Dallas's offense can be elite at times. CeeDee Lamb stops dropping the ball. They'll be the highest scoring team in the league. I can't believe I'm saying this. Give me Dallas. I think Dallas is going to knock them off tomorrow.
It's bad when you and I agree on this one. I also think Dallas will win this one too. I don't like the way the Chiefs are playing. I think Dallas's offense is just good enough too. Pickens has turned into the X factor for them. Teams seem to be able to cover CeeDee Lamb, but can't cover him. It's a really good combination they've got going there. And to your point too, that defense, they shut out the Eagles in the second half. I know the Eagles have been inconsistent, but to have them, score 21 and then not score the rest of the game, that's really impressive. And I don't like the Chiefs skill position players compared to the Eagles skill position players. Give me Dallas at home on Thanksgiving. That's how I feel about it.
At this point too, I am the offseason moves you start to question them in hindsight. And Pickens has been so good for them that I'm starting to wonder now, was it him in Pittsburgh or was it Pittsburgh?
Right.
Because like he's now in line to get a very big contract. He's had a huge year for them. And they went and traded for DK Metcalf and gave up assets and gave him the contract when they had somebody who's as electric at him as him that's younger. I don't know, guys. You tell me, because you told me for the whole time Pickens is a problem. So you want to tell me what's going on now? Because it looks like he's working out just fine in Dallas for them.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And I said this, the domino effect of Seattle that's affected, from Seattle to Pittsburgh to Dallas has been real this year of who's been right and who's been wrong. Seattle was right to trade DK to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh probably wasn't right to not only trade,
doesn't look right,
but hand him a contract too. Remember, they handed him a big contract right away as well. And then they traded Pickens to the Cowboys. That's a bad couple of moves for the Steelers right there.
I've been saying this for a couple of years. I don't like Pittsburgh's front office. I don't like a lot of the decisions that they're making.
Yep.
I think Tomlin's time seems to be running out. If they blow this division lead, I think that there's going to be a lot of heat, because if they blow this division lead, it means they probably don't make the playoffs, because the Bills or the Pats, but probably the Bills will be a wild card. There will be at least 2 AFC West teams in, and maybe 3, dependent on the Chiefs. Pittsburgh might not make the playoffs. Like if Jacksonville slips in, Pittsburgh might not make the playoffs. Right. I think some changes will be coming after that. The night game on Thanksgiving is the Ravens against maybe Burrow. They haven't said yet. As the time we're taping this, they haven't said yet. So we'll just have to see. If it's not him, I love Baltimore to beat Cincinnati. If it is him, I don't know what kind of jolt that brings to them. And the Ravens last week, if you watched them, and I did, it wasn't impressive the way that they won. I appreciate that they've climbed out of the hole. They've gotten themselves back into position. The energy it must have taken to exert just to get back into the position that they did feels like it's weighing on them right now. So if Burrow comes back, it's a division game. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Cincinnati knocks them off. If he doesn't, then I like Baltimore to probably win a game that shouldn't be as close as it will be.
I think Burrow's playing. He posted on his own Instagram account that, he was back essentially with some old picture of himself. And then he did the quarterback press conference yesterday as well. So I assume he's back. By the way, he had one of the my favorite Q&As with a reporter. They asked him about what do you remember about the Thanksgiving Day game? And he's like, well, I just remember Matt Stafford throwing for 400 or 500 yards and then 200 of that going to Calvin Johnson and the Lions losing every year. That's what I remember about Thanksgiving games. I thought that was great because he's right. That was the only time those games were watchable. I think he's playing here. I want to pick them so bad against the Ravens because he's probably going. But I think the Ravens, it's been funny. They have not been clicking, but they've been winning these close games these last couple of weeks with Lamar. And we've talked about the Ravens at length about how they go into the playoffs and they end up losing. I think this is good for them, that they're getting uncomfortable in all of these games and not imploding and just slowly but surely taking care of teams, taking care of business. Give me the Ravens in a low scoring one here, even if Burrow is playing here. They should score more because it's the Bengals defense, but it's just the way that they've been playing as of late. Give me a 23-20 Ravens win here. It's going to be close and it's going to be uncomfortable because that's just how they're going these days.
Can they regenerate the steam when the playoffs roll around? I don't know. It's taking a lot of energy just to get back into this season for them. So we'll have to see. Black Friday is the anxiety game. It's the Bears fans and the Eagles fans together. If the Eagles lose here, they're going to freak out. Okay. Because it'll be 2 in a row. If the Bears lose here, they'll freak out just because, but it probably will depend what it looks like. Does Caleb look bad when they lose? Then they freak out. If they end up in some classic high-scoring game or something like that, then I think both sides will end up feeling okay about it. But this is these are triggered fan bases. The Eagles for, I don't even know what reason, because they've been so good. The Bears for a lot of reasons because they haven't. And they have to be worried this is a mirage. So how this game goes will matter for how everybody feels on Saturday.
I think Eagles fans have a legitimate gripe if they lose this game. This is looking like the team from 2 years ago. That's where they were bickering, still making it into the playoffs. and even their own fan base was like, oh, they're going to get killed by Tampa. And then they did. I feel like Eagles fans should be concerned here, especially like you can't blow a 21-point lead to Dallas and then not score in the second half with that team that you've got there. So they rightfully so have anxiety about this one. And this one, honestly, it reminds me of a Eagles Commanders game from last year where it's going, let's see what that team has up against the Eagles, where they kind of probably shouldn't be here with 8 wins, but here they are. I'm not going to knock them for it. And then here's the Eagles that probably should take care of business, but you and I both know it could definitely go the other way.
Officially, I take Philadelphia in the game, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Let's see. Shador gets his first real test. He plays the Niners. He had a nice outcome against the Raiders. Now he gets the 49ers. They're going to eat him alive. Like they are. They're going to eat him alive. 49ers by 1 million. They're going to eat him alive.
Niners are also feeling it too. Like that was a big win for them on Monday against the Panthers to put a team away in the NFC that could have kind of jumbled some things up. They didn't. I've said this too. Like I think the Ayuk situation is a testament to them going, we're trying to go on a playoff run here, man. Either put up or shut up. I think they're all business right now. I'm with you. Like they take care of business here. I think Shador, by the way, like he didn't have an amazing game. He didn't have a bad game against the Raiders. Like it was fine. And so I look for fine against the Niners. That doesn't get it done against San Francisco. So give me the Niners here.
Off of this season, too, the way he's kept it together on that side of the ball, Robert Saleh will be a head coach again. I don't know when. Yep. I don't know if it'll be soon, but he will be. He'll be a head coach again. Let's see. If the Jags are serious, they win at Tennessee, period. You know, like they've got 7 wins. They got to keep up with other teams to either take a run at the division or to make the wild card. They're playing a terrible team. You have to win, period.
Yep.
So, and I assume they will. I assume that they will. That hot start by the Colts can get real wobbly real fast if they lose to Houston this weekend. Houston's defense was unbelievable the other night. It's their saving grace. They've been better on offense with our boy Davis Mills than they have been with CJ Stroud, which I'm sure gives Stroud sad face because, you know, like the offense is just way better with him right now. I like Houston here a little bit because of the defense. I said this from the early going. I go, I'll believe it when I see it in December if they're still where they are. They've been an incredible story, but do they have the lasting power? And here's the test. Do you have the lasting power? This is the team that you've had to leapfrog in your division. They have a legitimate top 5 defense. Show me. And there's a part of me that feels like Houston survived the worst part of their season, and they're going to start to take off here, and things are going to get real tight if Houston wins this game, and I think they will.
I agree with you. I think the Texans have the hottest defense in the league right now. They are so good. They're a Super Bowl level defense. And look, I'm just gonna put it on paper here. Super Bowl level defense against Daniel Jones. Yeah. I'm taking the Super Bowl level defense over Daniel Jones. And I know Jonathan Taylor's really good. I'm not trying to discount him, but you know what this is going to come down to. It's going to come down to Daniel Jones. I'm good. Like I've seen this movie before. Give me the defense over Daniel Jones.
The side dish no one likes is New Orleans at Miami. Don't care. The green bean casserole is Atlanta at the Jets. Oh, your boy Kirk taking on the Jets. Similarly, don't care.
Right.
Let's see. Buccaneers at home versus the Cardinals. I feel like it's a must win for them. They get a team that's been kind of reeling. They come across the country. I know they've had a bazillion injuries, but they caught a break with Carolina losing the other night to San Francisco. They could still win this division. First to 10 will definitely do it. 9 might, in that division. So the Buccaneers feel still like a favorite to do it, but this is kind of like you got to gut it out and figure it out against them, and I assume that they will.
Yeah, also, it's worth noting, I went through the divisions on my show yesterday. The Bucs play the Panthers 2 times in the last month of the season. Yeah. So, they need to actually get these types of wins to put away the Panthers, or else if they're in striking distance, the Panthers are of the Bucs. That gets real squirrely at the end of the season for them.
Rams go across the country, get the Panthers, who have a really messed up offense right now. Bryce Young, on a number of occasions, threw the ball to nobody, nowhere. So that is always a sign to me like he ain't seeing it. So give me the Rams here. They blew out the Buccaneers. They're not. They typically play these games closer than you think they're going to, but I think they're going to figure out a way to win.
This is one too. The Rams are hot. Like they're going up. The Panthers are catching the wrong team at the wrong time when it comes to the Rams. The Rams win this one. The Panthers have also just been inconsistent. They're literally 500 for a reason. Give me the Rams here.
Your guy 9 should not face the Seattle defense.
Definitely not my
week.
guy. I do not claim him ever. No
now
way.
The Stranger Things is back. 9. Nine should not be facing the Seattle defense. We'll see. It sounds like they were already greasing the wheels for him to not play this week.
Yeah,
so
Adam Schefter was alluding that he's probably not starting this weekend. That's what they're saying. So
Bills Steelers feels like a wild card game because the loser here is going to be in trouble. The Bills more so because the Patriots are so hot and they're playing the Giants this week at home that the spread might get too big for them to catch them. So they kind of need to win this game just to stay in their division race. And with Pittsburgh, you can feel the crumbling occur.
Yeah.
If the Bills knock them off and then the Ravens win on Thursday night, all of a sudden that division is for Baltimore's for the taking. So this feels like a wild card playoff game.
Yeah, I agree. You also, if you're the Bills, you need a good win here, just to get the train back on the tracks a little bit. They've been trading win-losses here for the last couple of weeks. I think the Bills need to win this more for their confidence than anything. I don't believe in the Steelers. Is Rodgers playing? I don't even know if Rodgers is playing. I know Rudolph actually played okay last week. So
did you see him flip off the camera last week? Did you see that one?
No, I missed that.
He flipped off one of the ESPN cameras last week. He's getting weird again.
Yeah, that's no shocker, right? Here we are. Of course,
he held it together long enough.
He did.
Was normal Aaron for about 6 months.
Although we haven't really dove into off the field activities. Do you like the conspiracy theory have you heard about this with his wife? Have you heard about this?
No.
There's a podcast that doesn't think she's real, and I'm kind of into it because he said, remember he was like, oh yeah, I got married and I forget whatever her name is, but nobody has seen her. Nobody's seen her at games. He's never had a picture with her. And I'm kind of I kind of dig this one. I'm kind of into this one that his wife isn't real.
It is the sentient being for real.
You and I were on that 5 years ago, but and
nobody's seen her. Is she real?
Right.
That's a great podcast, by the way.
Yeah, it was a a women's podcast, and they were like, "What do you mean you've never seen picture of his wife?" And they're like, "He just doesn't have."
Considering how public he was about everything, it is very strange.
And he got married. Where's the wedding pictures, Raj? Give me the wedding pictures.
God.
I love that
don't
theory.
make it out like he's got some voodoo doll that sits on a couch and that's who he calls his wife. I can't have that.
Made out of clay.
Anyway, last one real quick. The Chargers should beat Pete and stay in the AFC West race because the Raiders are kind of done. And Pete looks shell-shocked. He's got this look of, the last time I was in the NFL, I was really good at this. And he's got this look on his face I don't know what happened because I haven't been gone that long. That's what it looks like when I watch him.
The Raiders have fired their special teams coach and their offensive coordinator. So, things are just going great over there. Yeah. Like I said, and I've been saying this all year, I'm so mad anyone convinced me the Raiders were going to get back on track with this year. I'm
you can
so
make
mad.
A case for everybody in the NFL. That's the reality of the summer.
Sure. But this one, I was like, what do you mean Pete Carroll with Chip Kelly with Geno Smith didn't turn things around in Vegas? Shocker, guys. I'm shocked it didn't get turned around. So,
all right. Yeah. Let me take a quick break. Bram, watch the show. ESPN 630, the Sports Capital. Hey, Commanders fans, want to make every drive a winning one? With the AAA Commanders MVP membership, you'll get trusted AAA roadside assistance, score Commanders gear at 15% off at the online pro shop, ticket giveaways, and exclusive team experiences. Whether it's game day or a weekend getaway, AAA keeps Commanders fans covered at home or on the road. Upgrade your current membership or join the team today at AAA.com/Commanders and drive like an MVP every day. All right, welcome back. A couple quick things. I watched Maryland last night. They got cooked. Oh, my God, did they get cooked by Gonzaga? No indictment of their program. Their coach just got here. They got a bunch of dudes who weren't here. They are not on that level. Holy cow. Early in the first half, I heard Spiro Ditas, who called the game. He goes, when we talked to Buzz Williams, he said before the game, if we turn the ball over against this team, they're going to score 100 on us. They did, and they did. So Maryland, you know what? If someone said this, it was whoever the analyst was, I didn't catch it, but he goes, this is good for Maryland to play a team like this. That's an elite team so they can find out this is what it's like, like for this group, this is what it feels like to play a team like this. So maybe it is a learning experience for them.
You're spinning a Maryland 100 to 60 something point loss over
Pretty
there
bad.
as a learning experience.
I know you
All
love
right,
to make
man.
fun of me because of my Maryland
right.
love. I know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you say over there.
Let's see. Let's get your quick thoughts on the Caps, who get the peg tonight, Toronto this weekend, and then they go to the Island on Sunday. So what do you got for that?
So Winnipeg, not as good. They're missing their number one goaltender. So I expect good things tonight. The Caps are really hot, by the way. Their win against Columbus was like maybe their best win of the season in terms of just how they beat them. Toronto, by the way, go look at the standings. Your worst team in the Eastern Conference right now, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow.
So they've actually got a little bit of a break here where they should beat Winnipeg, especially without their number one goaltender. They should beat Toronto. They should hit this road trip with a what now? It would be winning something like 6 of 7, 7 of 8, something like that, heading to this road trip because they play the Islanders on Sunday and then they hit the West Coast. They hit the West Coast for 3 games. They hit LA, San Jose, and Anaheim. So that trip is always tough, but if they head into that trip with like a 3 or 4 game win streak here, I would be very happy with that.
Anybody out there, Zach or Ted, want to throw me some free tickets for tonight? I'll go.
Okay. Good luck with that.
I like throwing that out there.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. Last thing real quick, because I would have spent a lot more time talking about this, but Mayor Bowser announces she's not going to run again to be the DC mayor. She will go down as the mayor who brought the Commanders back to the city and kept the Wizards and the Mystics and the Capitals in the city. She's the sports mayor. Like Marion Barry for a long time before all the crack stuff, right? Marion Barry was kind of known as a sports mayor. He kind of rode because he was very connected to the Redskins at the time. He kind of rode that success and parlayed it politically into like a good shine on him. For Mayor Bowser, she gets to walk out the door and go, I have accomplished some of the biggest business development deals in the history of this city and under my watch, and like this is the fruit of it, and I'm going to walk out of here. And so I think, from a sports fan perspective and someone who cares about our teams, job well done. She's done a really, really, really amazing job with all of that. With everything else, I'll leave the experts to discuss her legacy for all the other things that have happened in Washington, D.C. But for me, on that facet alone, the results are the results. And she got the Commanders home. Wasn't just her, but she did. She kept Ted in town. Like she won on that front.
Don't forget, she didn't negotiate with Dan Snyder, which was just as important than all of the things you just mentioned. Because if any of the jurisdictions were negotiating with Dan Snyder, we might not be in a position here with Josh Harris owning the team as well. There's one thing I point to here, too, as a sports fan, kind of like how you were saying. I think her legacy is kind of similar as Mayor Fenty, where it's a mixed bag. There's a lot of things you could like. There's a lot of things you don't like. But what's one of the most iconic pictures of Fenty? It's him standing in front of that sign of welcome home with the Nationals, right?
Yeah.
Like that's one of the lasting images of him that I remember as a sports fan. She's going to get to do the same thing when it comes to the Commanders coming back home.
Yeah. I hope Trump doesn't pick the next mayor of DC because I don't want to see who that's going to be.
What billionaire friend will that be? That's what that would be. That's,
which it's probably the podcaster who thinks Aaron Rodgers' wife isn't real. That's probably who the next mayor of DC would be.
Maybe.
Possible. All right, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Brainwash the Show, ESPN 630, The Sports Capital.